Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana. This is mail day number 52. And this is a doozy. This is one of those quantity over quality mail days. And let me just preface this for you guys. So what you're about to see is 98 cards. Yes, it's a 98 card mail day, but there's a little asterisk, there's a caveat, there's a twist. These are cards that I had at my house that I bought many years ago, probably 2-3 years ago, when I was trying to build a massive like Jordan collection and just buy everything in sight. So you're not going to see a lot of huge Jordans, but I think you're going to see only Jordans, and there's going to be 98 of them. And when I recently decided to create this little side PSA 8 only Jordan PC, I decided, you know what, I'm going to pull this stuff out of my house. I'm going to create a submission. I'm going to ship it to PWCC. This was probably maybe 10 days ago. The cards are already up. They're in my vault. So I'm going to share with you the cards that I ship from my house into my PWCC vault. It's just easier for me to keep them there. It's easier for me to share them. It's easier for me to keep track of them and inventory the cards. I mean, the PWCC vault also has, and I didn't know this, it has an exportable, an export option where you can essentially create an Excel spreadsheet with whatever list you're working with. So I can sort my spreadsheet, move them into Excel, keep track of value. PWCC keeps track of insured value, which is sort of close, but it usually errs on the side of a little bit less than comps from what I've noticed overall. And so it's a really cool feature that's in a PWCC vault where you can actually export your inventory into an Excel spreadsheet and do whatever you want, modify it however you want within Excel based on player, based on value. So, and I've got a video coming up. I've actually pulled the top 200 cards in my PWCC vault as far as value goes, and I'm going to give you guys kind of a breakdown of what's within those 200 cards. Again, I don't usually talk about value. You guys can always go figure it out if you want to on Card Ladder or Market Movers or Hedge Nuts or Card Fund or whatever the places are called. I use Card Ladder. But there's some really cool stuff you can do with the PWCC vault, not just as a place to keep your cards safe, but like as an inventory manager. You know what I mean? So I talk about the same stuff all the time, but the vault allows me to share these pictures with you guys. So I am going to go as fast as I can through 98 cards. Here we go. We got a 97 Slam Cam, BGS 9.5, no subs. I bought this a while back. It was super cheap because it had no subgrades on it. And again, I really can't talk long about each one of these cards. I'm going to rip through it. Michael Jordan, this is the Nuts and Bolts from 1995 metal. I've got this in a PSA 10, so this is just a bonus one. It's a Gem Plus, though. Pretty good copy right there. 9.5 Michael Jordan American made. There's a bunch of different USA basketball cards from 96 Upper Deck USA. It was actually a separate set. And so there's more than one MJ card in that set, and they've got all the Dream Teamers in there. 1999 Upper Deck base card, True Quad Gem, BGS 9.5. PSA 10, 91 Hoops Jordan. I've got 2 copies or 3 copies of that card. I've got like 6 or 7 copies of this card. This is the 93 Skybox Premium. I'm pretty sure, I may be wrong, but I think this is the first year of the Skybox Premium product. And this is the base card. I think it's a cool looking card. I like that they have the little fade coming off the ball. And of course, Jordan shooting his fade away. How could you go wrong there? And then you got the Space Jam looking Jordan with the bald head on the back. I think I've got maybe 6, 7, 8 copies of that card. 93 Upper Deck Jordan, card number 237, PSA 10, just a base card, hang time. 92 Upper Deck, PSA 8, and so now you're going to start seeing some PSA 8s. So as you guys know, I've created a PSA 8 collection as well, so we're going to rip through these real quick. Superman from Skybox Z-Force 8, Ultra 8, I love the script at the bottom on that card. A holding court with the coating, not the refractor, just the base, but I do have the refractor as well. So that's a cool little PSA 8 pairing that I'm happy to have. And you guys know, mostly I take the peel off if I'm going to submit the card. This one does not look like a good candidate to get a 10 because it looks a little bit off center top to bottom, and that's without me looking at anything else. But Jordan's wearing those 11 Concords in that one, so that's a cool card right there. Topps holding court, look it up. This is the 96 Finest. The coating is on this one as well. PSA 8 added into the PSA 8 PC. The Metal Universe card number 23, PSA 8. Everybody's seen that. Another one. A 96 hoops head-to-head. So this is a card not many people know about. It's not crazy rare or anything, but I think it's a really cool card. It's got Jordan and Pippen on it. We know those guys are feuding today. We know Jordan's son is dating Pippen's ex-wife. Holy S-word. That's awkward. Their rift is probably only growing from that one. 1996 Flair Showcase, row 2. Jordan, as I've always said, Flair Showcase base don't look like base. They're just really good looking cards. I mean, what a card that is. Love that card. Another 96 Ultra Jordan PSA 8. The Jordan Action Pack. A lot of people aren't familiar with this even. This was in 94. So Jordan in his Birmingham Barons uniform. Action Pack was like a real cheap little product that came out. This is a scouting report. It talks about Jordan on the back and his baseball stuff. But anyway, it's kind of cool. Like, honestly, if you read the back, I wish I could turn this. I'm sure there's a way to turn it, but I'm trying to look. Like, many strikeouts have given new meaning to Air Jordan, working to correct slight hitch and swing. Yeah, no kidding, right? He did start off a little bit rocky, but he really did start to pick up momentum hitting the baseball and was always actually a pretty decent fielder. 1995 Finest Mystery Jordan, PSA 8. Skybox Premium, again, another base card. This one's got the career block total wrong on the back. I think, where is it? So it says he has 6,972 career blocks. That's a lot more than Olajuwon, who's got the most in history. Hardwood Leaders, got, a lot of these cards already have them in PSA 10. This is one of them, which I'm really excited about the PSA 10 that I have. But this is the PSA 8, another Metal Universe PSA 8, another 92 Upper Deck PSA 8, a 92 Upper Deck McDonald's PSA 8. 92 Upper Deck McDonald's PSA 8. I'm going to go quick here. 92, again, just another duplicate copy. This is a card that I think is really cool. I posted it on Instagram and got a lot of really good feedback. Obviously, it's a throwback. It's from 2009. I don't even know when I picked it up. I picked it up because it reminds me of the Griffey years, right? It reminds me of 89 and 90 Upper Deck when those baseball cards first came out and the hobby just went bananas. Like, the fact that cards were not in a wax wrapper anymore that was like sealed and melted on the back. It was like this holofoil, like different, tech, even the packs looked expensive. I remember these Upper Deck packs were like $3 a pack at a time where most cards back in that day were like 50 cents a pack, maybe even, lower, like 30 cents a pack sometimes. And these Upper Deck came out at $3 a pack. And I was like, the hell with that, man. I can go buy my favorite players' cards, for that and just pick up the card that I want. But this Jordan reminds me of that, and when you look at the back, obviously it's just like it, and so I just thought that was just different and cool, so I picked it up. 1997 Finest number 39 Finishers subset card, PSA 8. 97 Skybox EX 2001. I've talked about this product before on an Explore the Card episode. Like I said, these base cards don't look like base cards. Those are just really, really beautiful cards with a little bit of translucency in the middle. You can look right here. It's got, like the copyright stuff and the date it was printed and who printed it. And if you look at it from the front, you can see through and see that on the back. But just a really, I think, really neat looking card there. And in fact, let me go back. This stuff over here kind of reminds me of the Hardwood Heroics. Guys, go look that up. Hardwood Heroics, that insert card for Jordan, which I'm a big fan of and really like, another off the radar Jordan card. This texture over here reminds me of that Hardcore Heroics texture. Not texture, but coloration. Another Superman PSA 8. A 97 Metal Universe Championship, right? So there was the Metal Universe, then there was the Metal Universe Championship product. This is a PSA 8 from that. Another Metal Universe Base 8. Upper Deck Behind the Glass. So this came from Upper Deck SE, which I assume stands for Special Edition. I could be wrong. But 1993 Upper Deck SE Behind the Glass. The PSA 10 of this card is a very valuable card and a very low pop card. Really impossible card to grade for whatever reason. And I'm pretty sure it's probably the surface corners and edges on the front, because the back looks like regular paper, but the front looks really tough. Real easy for this stuff to fleck, and in fact you can kind of see these white dots are probably the surface flaking off, I should say. What is fleck? Is fleck a word? Here's one that's a little bit off the radar, right? This is the 1999 Upper Deck Predictor Jordan Scoring 2. There's more than one of these, but these are kind of shaped like old school TVs. It's kind of a cool looking card, to be quite honest with you. I'm not sure what all that junk is in the background, but I think those are pretty cool cards and pretty unique. They kind of stand out. I haven't seen another Jordan card that looks like this. Obviously, this one's really roughed up on the corners, but these corners are like sharper than a normal corner because they come to a point. Kind of got that SPX type feel to it where it's real hard to keep those corners crisp. Another 93 Hoops PSA 8. Another 93 number 237 hang time PSA 8. The inside outside, which I have in a 10, but this is a PSA 8 to go in that PSA 8 collection. Stadium Club Jordan PSA 8 base. I think that's that triple double card. I think they call it. Let's go down and look. Yeah, if you look down here, it says triple double, and then it gives you the dates where he had triple doubles, and there's 4 of them on there. And that's 1993 Stadium Club. Back's kind of cartoony looking. Just kind of talking about those different triple double games he has. Jordan had 27 triple doubles in his brilliant career. As of 1993, he could have had 327 if he wanted. This card's called Firm Foundation, but it's a subset card. It's not an insert. It's a subset card from 95 Fleer, PSA 8 there. Ultra Gold Medallion, so a little bit bigger PSA 8 card, right? Somewhat, it's not just a base card. This is the Gold Medallion Parallel from 1997 Ultra. This card is in a Platinum Medallion, is a really big card, and the Gold Medallion in PSA 10 is a really big card as well. But this is the PSA 8 copy. I just like this card, the way Jordan stands out when they've kind of golded, almost like black, white, gray, golded that background, so where he really stands out. Another just unique base card. This is the Skybox EX2000, not EX2001, but the EX2000 from 96. With the kind of window pane in the background. These cards, if you scroll in, do you see these little fibers sticking off the inside of this window? These cards are notorious for that. Those little, the middle darker section is almost like a window pane, and the frame is this white area around it. These cards are notoriously diamond cut at the top. This one's actually really good from a diamond cut standpoint, but you can see these little fibers of white sticking off the right inside of that pane, and you can see it again right here. That's what these cards are notorious for. So getting that card in a 10 is very hard to do, and it's a very valuable card. But that's just an 8 that I've got. But let's see what's next. Where am I? God, I'm talking nonstop. Ultrabilities starter. So this is the Ultrabilities. Happy to have this card in the PSA 10 as well. Pretty cool card there. PSA 8. PSA 8 of the scoreboard card, or a board game. Sorry, I shouldn't say scoreboard. Board game. Tough to grade this card because the edges are black and red, and it's just, there's nowhere to hide any whitening of the edges or corners, and obviously you can see that's where this one got an 8. Again, this looks like it's a PSA 4, but what you got to remember is the high definition images from PWCC are going to bring anything and everything to the forefront. And let me tell you, even cards that do look like 10s, when you look at them under this high def deal, magnified, it looks like a PSA 8, but this is an 8 for that board game card. I think that's a cool card. Love this card. There's also a gold version of this card, which is more rare, but this is the Jordan Full Court Trap card, where he's got the goatee and the black and white pinstripes. Just a really neat looking card right there. PSA 8. And Scoring Kings from 95. Everybody's familiar with the first Scoring Kings from Ultra, but this is the 1995 Scoring Kings. A little bit different, a little bit even harder to grade than the original Scoring Kings. You can see the edges are rough on this one, so probably not even a great conditioned 8 right there. Scoring Kings, Jordan, 96 Z-Force, Superman again, another triple double, PSA 8. Center Stage. So this is a card I've gotten a PSA 10 that I'm really proud of. I love this card. I like that kind of like bedazzled script at the top. I actually pulled another one of these cards out of Skybox Premium box break that I did when I very first started my channel. And all of the front of it was stuck to the card in front of it. And so the whole front of it had ripped off. I was so excited that I bought this cheap little 93 Skybox Premium box, and I actually pulled a Jordan insert, Center Stage insert, and then the cards were stuck together, and when I unpeeled them, the whole surface of the other Jordan card had pulled off. And so I've actually got that card up next to my monitor just as a reminder not to buy 90s wax, because even when you pull the card you want, it may not look the way that you intended it to look, because those cards do tend to melt against each other, depending on where those boxes have been kept. Very rarely do you know, right, the provenance or the origin and the chain of title of those boxes. So many of them are probably stored in really hot warehouses where, those glossy cards just melt to the back of each other. Throwback, AC Green on the right, I think. Paxson on the left right there, wearing some New Balance. Wow, interesting. And then Jordan shooting a layup. That's the 91 Upper Deck Jordan. PSA 8, card number 44. Another Firm Foundation, PSA 8. Another Jordan. This one's a 9.5 Min Gem. Another 9.5 Min Gem, but this is the E-Motion, right? It's a 94.95. It's actually a Skybox product, but sometimes it's listed separately just as 94 E-Motion. And then Bowman's Best Jordan, BP. This one, BP is for Best Performance. But this is a Jordan, and that's the slab. It's got some rubbing on the surface of it. Mixed gem there with 110, 19. Another 9.5, 97 Finest. This is affectionately called the Showstoppers, but again, this is a subset card. It's not a, not an insert. A lot of these subset cards have names. Upper Deck Sweet Shot. This one's actually serial numbered. So card number 396 out of 799 and a PSA 10 from 2003. I like that Sweet Shot set from 2003. 91 Hoops PSA 10. 1991 Hoops PSA 10. Again, I got multiple copies of these. Just stacking them. 97 Upper Deck International Stickers PSA 10. 90 Hoops. This card is preposterous. It's ridiculous. I think I've actually got two of these. First of all, Jordan's calves in this picture are legendary. But some kid drew Jordan, shooting a reverse layup or probably going up to turn it over and dunk it on the other side. But PSA 10, it's actually a checklist. It just happens to have Jordan on the front. It's got the whole Bulls team on the back. And look, if you thought Jordan, came out of the gates with like all these incredible teammates, you're wrong. Look at this list. B.J. Armstrong, average NBA player, average NBA career. Bill Cartwright was a fossil by that age. Horace Grant was a pretty good NBA power forward, and I think sniffed an all-star game or two and then had one good season when he got traded to Orlando because he was playing out of spite. Craig Hodges, a three-point specialist, true three-point specialist back in the day. Had a ridiculous NBA three-point contest. Go check it out. Michael Jordan, Stacey King, who Jordan loved to screw with. Stacey King was a damn killer in college at the great University of Oklahoma. He was an Oklahoma Sooner. John Paxson, of course, he hit one big shot in his career and was actually a really good player. But by the time he got to the Bulls, he was kind of a catch and shoot, kind of a secondary guard kind of guy, almost like a backup to the backup. But could play that combo guard position, but just a knockdown shooter and a really good locker room presence. Will Perdue, famous because he had giant feet and he was terrible. He was actually a really good player at Vanderbilt, but just a kind of a big, stiff, giant 7'1" white center. Scottie Pippen, we know who he was. Phil Jackson, that matters. Dennis Hobson never amounted to anything. Cliff Levingston waved a towel and cheered for everybody. This card was illustrated by Ken Goldhammer. Sounds like a good porn name, Goldhammer. But Ken Goldhammer, you could do better. Not your best work. 91 Skybox Salutes. This is a Jordan, PSA 10. All of these are Jordan. Jordan shooting a free throw with his eyes closed in practice. Of course, he famously did it in a game from Upper Deck. Skybox Premium from 93. This is card number 14, PSA 10. I love this one because I remember the music. What was that guy's name that wrote the music for the NBA on NBC theme song? Somebody tell me in the comment. John Tesh? Is that his name? John Tesh? I don't know. It's some blonde guy with a feathered butt cut that wrote the theme song to NBA on NBC. I can still hear it. And it's so nostalgic just thinking about that and remembering sitting down to watch these games. This is before League Pass. This is before, real cable where you can go find tons of games. But when those games came on and Jordan was playing, that was just a really big deal. You sat down and you watched. 92 Fleer PSA 10, another 93 Skybox PSA 10. I got 4 or 5 of those. The 97 Topps PSA 10. People like to collect that Topps run of all the Topps base cards. 92 Stadium Club PSA 10. I'm pretty sure that's the first year of Stadium Club, if I'm not mistaken. Is there a 91? I don't think there is. 1997 Collector's Choice, back to PSA 8s here. In 1993, we already saw it. Another Serial numbered cards, 681 out of 999 from SP Game Used in 2003. So a couple of serial numbered cards. Don't think this one's serial number. No, 2006 Fleer Hot Prospects Jordan, PSA 10. I don't know what I was doing at the time. You know, I don't really collect non-playing day Jordans. I'll even collect the Wizards years, but I really don't collect non-playing days Jordans, so I'm not really sure what I was thinking when I was buying those cards. I was probably just on tilt, just buying everything in sight. Another Jordan, two more Upper Deck Jordan PSA 8s, another Jordan PSA 8. Probably picked these up in a lot for, $10 each back a few years ago. 91 Skybox, 90 Skybox is the really badass one, right? The gold one that everybody knows about that went on that run, Last Dance, because it was like the first year of Skybox and people loved it. It's worth a few $100. Well, this one, this 91 Skybox was that kind of white background Skybox, and these cards are really cool too. Like the card you're looking at, I really like it. It's Sky Master. It's a subset card, but I think there's like 6 different, maybe more. I think there's 6 different Jordan cards in the base set from 91 Skybox. Like Skybox started chasing the dollar Panini style back then. Here's another one, 91 Skybox PSA 10. So now we've seen 3 of them. We've got 1997 Fleer PSA 10, that horizontal card. 99 Upper Deck MVP. There's the 1990 Skybox. I got this because, theoretically, and there's that roster again, same roster, right? I picked this card up because theoretically, I feel like it's a Jordan card. It's got Jordan's name on the back. It's got the Bulls logo on the front. I think it's a really cool card. That's one cool thing that Skybox did. And when you saw this a little bit in the 80s, I think Upper Deck, when they came out, they had these little hologram sticker discs for all the Major League teams in the packs as well, if I recall. That might have been 89 Upper Deck. An Upper Deck MVP silver script down there, MVP Legends, Jordan, PSA 10. Another Jordan Hoops PSA 8 from 1992. Man, this is Junk Wax City right here. PSA 8 Skybox Premium. PSA 8 Stadium Club. Another Scoring Kings, but this is the Hot Packs parallel. So if you look closely at these cards are cool, man. I really like this year of Scoring Kings, 95 Ultra Scoring Kings. Y'all go check those out. Those are not cheap. They are very, very low pop. But this is the Hot Packs, and so you'll see it's got that stamp right there, Hot Packs. And I forget the distinction between Hot Packs and regular. Again, they were like distributed. Again, 8 dark corners, 8 dark edges, front, back, everywhere dark. Very difficult to keep the whitening off. Looks pretty good on the front, but look at the back. Like all over the place, right? Look at those edges. Just hard to keep that clean. I forget how the Hot Packs were distributed. Probably a different, maybe retail versus hobby, maybe Series 1, Series 2, maybe just cello packs, something. I can't remember. Some frequent flyers, Jordan, another subset card, PSA 8. We've seen this at least 2 or 3 times. 91 Upper Deck checklist, Jordan. There's that team on the back. This is the All-Star Team checklist. Wow, this is nostalgic here. Who stands out? Let's see. Worst player on here. Everybody so far is pretty legit. Kevin Duckworth, definitely the worst player on here. Kevin Duckworth. Hersey Hawkins didn't have a great career. I didn't realize Hersey made an all-star team. I sure as shit did not realize Kevin Duckworth did. Everybody else is legit. Even Ricky Pierce and look at two Milwaukee Bucks on there. Pierce and Alvin Robertson were on there. I used to play the Bucks on video games with Brad Lowhouse and Jack Sikma. And just clog up the paint. Sorry, I should have talked about this. I like this card. I've got it in the 10. 93 Upper Deck. It's called Skylights, but it's just card number 466 in the base set. Another 93 Jordan Upper Deck PSA 8. 92 Ultra PSA 8. 93 PSA 8. 93 Fleer PSA 8. It's a pretty cool card right there. League leaders. Stadium Club Frequent Flyers again, PSA 8. Another 95 Upper Deck PSA 8. Good Lord, this is taking forever. Another Skybox Premium PSA 8. Another Skybox Premium PSA 8. And that's it, guys. That's it. 98 cards, a couple of duplicates. Again, like I said, nothing, super crazy sexy. Just wanted to show you guys the growth of that PSA 8 PC. All these cards mean something, man. Like I could talk about all these cards. And some of these cards in PSA 8 are so cheap. And they're really not, like, obviously some of the base cards are really high pop, but some of the other ones are really not that high pop of a card, like the Center Stage, the Full Court Trap, the Scoring Kings Hot Pack, the Scoreboard, even the 96 EX2000. I mean, these are not crazy high pop by ultra modern standards. So just something to think about, something to keep in mind. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this mail day number 52. I got some more coming. In the down market, I'm selling a little bit, I'm buying a little bit. I got a bunch of great reveals coming up. I've always got cards coming back from PSA, so lots of great stuff on the channel. If this is your first time watching me, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like the video, and you're always encouraged, and I would endorse this highly, comment. I'd love your feedback. I'd love you to tell me stories about Jordan cards you have. Which PSA 8 Jordans do you have that aren't worth that much, but you think mean the most to you, that are in your collection? So, anyway, thank you guys for watching. As always, keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby, and peace.